So here you see the defects with these little bubbles, and this is still the bottom part. As you see here, these are moisture bottles, so there, because it's of course the moisture inside of the filament is heating up, and that is creating a kind of steam, and because it makes this steam, it will bubble. You hear it also a little bit. I have shown in another video with really wet filament. This is just moist, as I told you. So this is just, and you see this getting this effect everywhere, these little points. And like I said, this is black filament, and this first part has still been used, and they're not regular, they're not in the slide, so they're just getting there in the print, all these little bubbles, and that of course also gives sometimes extra effects around it, because it makes the filament not come out evenly. And let's see where we're going. Where are we now? We are here. Let's see in focus. Focus. This is so hard to display. In real life it's easier. And it's also a flat surface. And then suddenly you see this effect getting worse. But you don't see it that well here, I think. So here you see let's see it from the other side. So focus. I try to get the light on the camera and get it to focus and see enough. Doesn't do a real nice thing. And here you see it roughly, but it's not sharp. Human eyes are very special, that they can just do that easily. So here you see all these moisture points. This is the new bag of filament, and then we can get back around here, and you see less of these bubbles. They're still there, but they're much less, and this is of course just an artifact of the print itself here. Well, there's even moist getting here now, so that's not the moist of the print itself. That's oil, I guess. So here you see some of these bubbles appearing, and of course the normal artifacts with overhangs and the holes, because I didn't use infill, because infill is just or support here inside, because it's just messing things up. So here is just the hole, as you see, and you see also where the upper side and lower side is. So this is the lower side of the hole where the printing, and here you see it dropping a little bit, so it's never been totally round, otherwise you have to cut all this support material out. Here you see some effects of these artifacts, and here, and as you see, you come deeper into the spool, because I didn't dry this long enough, or didn't dry it at all. It was just dried out of the air in the place where I am, and that's about 50% air moisture. And here you see extra dots appearing, and then at the moment the spool changed, you see suddenly a lot of these things appearing. And this is just the new bag. Like I said, I opened a new bag of the same filament, PETG black, and I didn't dry before, just opened it straight from the box, hang it on the side of the printer, and it kept on printing like it should be. This is a print of 11 hours. It's pretty solid, and even with the 0.8 nozzle, as you understand, it's almost maximum speed I think I can get out of it before you get them to melting point. Oh, now you see it close better. It's always a light and things. something went really blurry here, I don't know what, but this is on the change, this is on the change line, so this is probably where the printer changed automatically from spool to spool and therefore got this little extra mixed up. This is of course settings in the slicer or in Zmod to get this done better at the moment of change, the Zmod of course. So this is not possible to tune that really in on the normal firmware, but with Zmod on it you can tune things like that better for the change of filament spools and add more or less poop and pressure, pre-4 and things like that you can add and set up to get the change better, but there must have been some difficulty getting the pressure right after leaving the part, putting it in. Probably a little temperature difference, and that made a little less nice print, but you really clearly see here that there's a line, and here you also see all these moisture bubbles appearing. On this printer you don't even hear that because of the other noises the printer makes, but I think it's pretty clear that there is a moisture problem with this filament. So that's the reason why you need something to dry it. I have shown also in another video the filament dryer I use, so that's just a food dehydrator, and I run it for a couple of days mostly to if I want a good surface and print. For this print, because it's functional, it doesn't matter that much, but it should not getting much worse, otherwise it will be making the part weak and even break or things like that. So this is one of the first things you have to notice or learn to notice if you are 3D printing, and this is more with filaments like PETG or nylons than with, for example, PLA or TPU, although TPU can be taking up a lot of moisture as well. So as you see, this very little screwdriver, so you see the size of it all on the screen. I think you can understand how small these lines are. So this is like I said, I think this is 0.6 layer height with a 0.8 nozzle. I've been doing also a lot of printing on my other printers with a 0mm nozzle, so that's even coarser, but then sometimes the lines even show it more. Of course, if you put a lot of small layer lines, you see a lot of the bubbles appear more or less, sometimes depending on the filament and on the temperature settings. Sometimes you just get a not shiny surface anymore, it just gets very blurry just because of the number of bubbles that are appearing in it. So let's see the other filament of another spool in another printer, and this has been inside of a drying case. So I have my printers in one big box with air drying system and filtering, and there's almost no problems visible in this. This is with the normal standard 0.4 nozzle. And as you see, there's almost no layer lines compared to, so this is the 0.8 you see below it here. Shining through, of course it's not sharp and visible, but you can understand it. And here you see all the small layer lines. This is almost round, not totally, because I want to have inserted. So this is a square piece that I've inserted in this holder and then round it up before I put it in. So this is just Fusion doing its job. It's quite an easy program, of course, to use for this kind of prints. So, but you see how moisture can ruin your surfaces, and if it gets wet, then you really have a problem. But this is just like I said, this is a moisture problem in your filament. So look out for that if you are 3D printing with, especially with PETG. Voor meer video's over 3D printen en de gerelateerde onderwerpen zoals het slijpen, milling, alle CNC en dergelijke, ga naar www.patreon.com/elvinhaak en hier zijn meer van mijn video's te vinden dan op YouTube, minder beperkingen en vaak ook maanden eerder ter beschikking voor de wat langere series. Ook zijn hier diverse gerelateerde downloads beschikbaar die bij de video's horen. Je kan ook kijken op Facebook, 3D-printer beginners Nederland, Nix Reality wel aan het Octoprint, etc. Dat is een aparte pagina. Mijn homepage is www.elfiets.nl/3dprint, YouTube @el3dprint. En als je deze video's interessant en of leuk vindt, klik je op het duimpje en abonneer je of volg om de hoogte gehouden te worden. Je kan altijd nog vragen stellen via de Facebookpagina of dus aan de onderkant van deze video's. Tot de volgende video.